For the YouTube subscribers. Go subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button, subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
We are back, guys. The return of Jon Jones. Yes, the much anticipated return of Jon Jones. UFC 285. We have a big card that is deep, fairly deep. Excited to go over this card. I'll be going over the main card. Like usual, guys, breaking down the fights, providing free picks, leans, and what to avoid. A bunch of free winners last week for video viewers and clients. Nice 11-3 start to the year 2023 at 79% for clients. Client card will be out after weigh-ins. Keep that in mind. Head over to the website systemsportscapping.com if you want to become a client today. Start profiting long-term on all your favorite sports. Avoid big stock market crashes and crypto scams and crypto crashes. Start betting on sports long-term, guys. It can be very profitable if you have a system and you stick to it. Let's do a Vegas 70 recap, guys. Vegas 70 recap. Perfect card last week on sides and distance bets for me. Unfortunately, the main event got called off. I was looking forward to someone getting finished in that one. Big win for Allen, right? Brandon Allen, obviously the co-main event, got moved up to a main event. It was a pretty good fight. Not a bad fight. I told you guys last week, if you're going to bet that fight, jump on the Allen value. Plus 180, plus 190. There's definitely some value there. Muniz is not a proven guy, in my opinion. I was on that fight also not to go the distance. We got lucky with 30 seconds left that Allen found the submission. But I was able to cash my parlay ticket there. I also attacked Malott and Peak in a 2-5 parlay. Had Malott and Peak in a 2-5 play. A nice plus 110 value. I'm high on both guys. And they won fairly easily. I won both in the first round. Easy cash there for myself and clients. Another great week. Other sports, guys. Other sports updates. NBA long-term. 60-33 right now long-term in the NBA. Last two seasons. Nice winner with the Bulls last week. -4. Low volume in the NBA, guys. Depends on the week. Usually maybe one bet a week, two sometimes, depending if it does hit my system play. NHL 77-41, 66%. Up and down last week. I do expect a bit of regression in the NHL due to the high winning percentage long term, guys. Just being realistic here and straightforward. But I see the NHL really well. I expect another nice run coming up here. Long run in the NHL market is proven. NBA, I went over PGA. PGA, big outright winner last week, guys. Chris Kirk, plus 2,400. Also jumped on T20, plus 160. That was a free play as well. 3 outrights already in 2023, guys. Prop market hasn't been as kind. We were able to profit a little bit last week before, but trying to get going there in the prop market, but happy I hit that outright last week. Great start to the outright market for 2023, guys. Hitting 3 outrights plus 35.47 on ticket value total, with some losses in there as well. Usually outright market, I bet 1 to 4, and I don't bet it every week. I don't bet every week. Smaller tournaments, I try to lay off the outright market. Keep that in mind. NFL reminder, quickly, over 60 units of profit last 2 seasons long term. MLB futures are around the corner. Last 2 seasons in the market for MLB. Braves plus 1,000 outright. And Blue Jays best bet winner total profit, best bet winner total over, profitable both years in the MLB future market. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Guys, give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. System Capping. Easy enough. Follow me there. Free plays out there, client comments, betting information, betting news, sports news in general. Give me a follow there. I'm trying to build that up. Obviously, my Instagram is the biggest for follower-wise, over 4,000 now. Twitter's up there as well, almost 2,000. TikTok, I'm new there. I'm trying to get some followers. I threw some free video plays out there, some fun videos. give me a follow there. Shop around, guys. Best prices. Shop around. Have multiple books. I can't stress that enough. Books vary. You'll see varying prices all over from different books. Have multiple ones so you can get the best price. Let's get right into it, guys. The much anticipated return of Jon Jones. Some say the GOAT. Minus 170 versus Gone plus 145. Can't wait for this one. How is Jon Jones gonna look? There is a lot of questions coming into this fight. There's a ton of questions. How is he gonna look at heavyweight? How is he going to look after this 3.5 year long layoff? You know me, I usually, if you've been following me for a long time and me putting out these videos for years and years now, I try to avoid betting on guys that are coming off long layoffs. It makes sense, right? You really don't know what you're going to see. Yes, I've been watching the Jon Jones training camps. Yes, I've been watching his interviews. He looks ready. Looks quick in there. Looks fast on his feet for a heavyweight of his size. You're a little worried that he's going to lose some of his speed moving up to heavyweight. You know, it's not as great shape as he used to be from a lean standpoint. It doesn't have the abs. Looks a little thicker. Definitely want to look at the weigh-ins before I place a bet on this fight, if I'm going to bet on this fight. And there's just a few concerns I have with Jones. Even though I am leaning Jones' way, there are some concerns. And if I do lean his way and I end up betting on Jones, it has to be a smaller unit due to that. Due to we don't know. We don't know how he's going to look at heavyweight. We know how Gone looks at heavyweight. We know he's light on his feet. We know he can go 5 rounds. There is some concerns Jones putting on this weight. What happens in the 4th or 5th round if it gets there? We don't know. And we know Jon Jones was dominant at 205, but earlier and towards the end of his career, he started tapering off, guys. Right? He obviously had those big fights with Daniel Cormier. Beat the best in the world, Teixeira, Belfort, Son, Evans, just to name a few. He's beat everybody. And the reason why he deserves to be up there as one of the best fighters of all time. And now he's trying to stamp that by the best fighter of all time, period, if he wins this fight and continues to win in the heavyweight division. But towards the end of the career, he kind of struggled, guys. Remember, Anthony Smith fight, you could maybe blame it on Anthony Smith. He didn't bring the fight to him. Terrible fight, boring fight. He won, but it was terrible. Thiago Santos, that was a close fight. Split decision win. And then the Reyes fight, some people thought he lost. So towards the end of his career, guys, he wasn't as dominant as he was. Now he took 3.5 years off. He's fighting Gone, who is almost, he moves like a 205er. How's the weight going to factor in here? Now, we know the theory and what we think is going to happen in this fight and why I would have to back Jon Jones if I were going to bet this fight. Yes, the wrestling advantage. It's a huge wrestling advantage. Gone has not fought a wrestler like this. When he's fought a guy that can kind of wrestle in Francis, he got out-wrestled, and he just got laid on for 3 rounds. Right? Francis was hurt in that fight, wasn't able to be explosive like he wants to, so he just laid on Gone. Now, how much did Gone get better in wrestling after that? He definitely wasn't wrestling for Tuivasa. He just went in there and banged. And that was one thing I want to say about Gone. He showed me something. He showed me he can get hit. He showed me he can brawl. And if it does get into a type of brawl, type of style fight, he could do that. And that's what impressed me by Gone. We know he's great on his feet. I think he's probably better than maybe Jon Jones on the feet. But this is an MMA fight, not a kickboxing fight. Right? So I do have Jones obviously better as an MMA fighter overall in his career. But again, what is he going to look like? Now, I know he's been planning to wrestle in this fight. It's no secret, guys. He's going to be able to get Gone down at some point in this fight. Is Gone going to be able to get back up is the big question here, right? He's been training with Henry Cejudo. We know it's been heavy wrestling and heavy cardio. The question is, if he's going to be wrestling from the start of the fight and he doesn't get the finish, how long could he continue to wrestle without gassing? That's the big question here. And that's why I'm not able to go all in on Jon Jones. Even though I do like Jon Jones here, I am not be able to go all in with a big unit play because I haven't seen it yet. So be patient. Be patient, guys. Don't go all in on somebody. If you like Gone, there's some value there. It's not enough. It's not enough, at plus 145 for me to get to. Just because the wrestling advantage. Jones should have a big wrestling advantage here, guys. Keep that in mind. So Jones is going to be the play here. Am I going to bet it for clients? I haven't as of yet. I, of course, want to see the weigh-ins. But if I end up betting this fight, it's going to be a smaller unit on Jones due to the wrestling advantage. But just too many unknowns to bet more and feel comfortable doing so. That's how you break down a main event fight, guys. Shevchenko minus 650 versus Grosso plus 475. You know, another Valentina fight, another large price. It's just very difficult to be betting Shevchenko on fights these days, right? Of course, you're itching a little bit to bet Grosso at plus 475. I don't love the matchup for, I think Santos is more of a problem than Grosso, in my opinion. You know, Valentina has shown she's human. Last fight versus Grosso, so versus Santos. Santos, some people had her winning the fight. I had Valentina doing enough. It's just, when you're holding a belt for this long, guys, you know, is it still there? Is that grind still there? Now, I know Valentina, I'm not saying she doesn't train or the grind's not there, but when you have a belt for so long, eventually, you know, you get that hungry up-and-comer like a Santos that wants to take it away from you. And Santos is more well-rounded than Grosso, so that's why I have a hard time seeing Grosso win this fight. I just think Valentina's going to bring her down to the ground, guys, and have an advantage there. On the feet, I think it's fairly even. Grosso has great boxing, some of the best boxing in the women's MMA. Great on the feet, very quick, has some power in her hands, but doesn't really finish guys. Finish girls, right? 3 decisions, last 4 wins. 1 was a submission, which was surprising, but it was against Wood. And Wood was 1 foot out the door. So I don't look at that too much. But Shevchenko, it's just hard to bet against her. Even though there is some value there on Grosso, I just can't get to it. It's going to be Shevchenko for me. I can't bet it at minus 650. It could go decision. It could go decision here or a later stoppage. You know, it's tough. It's just going to be a stay away fade for me. For you big parlay players, which I don't suggest, you know me. If I bet parlays, it's 2 fights at most cases. Unless I do a larger one, it could be 3 at most, just for UFC money lines, never for any other sport. But yeah, if you show Shevchenko in there minus 650, I guess it's going to help a little bit. So I wouldn't avoid doing that. It's just a little tough to call an outcome here. I can see a later finish. I could see a unanimous decision win from Valentina. I just have a hard time seeing Grosso controlling the wrestling. I know she's improved. I know her grappling's improved and her wrestling. But at the end of the day, she hasn't fought someone like Valentina. And I think Valentina's just going to be able to get this fight down to the ground if she wants. And even on the feet, I think it's close. I think Grosso's maybe boxing is better, but, you know, Shevchenko has the kicks, the fancy Muay Thai. So I like Valentina here, guys. I don't see an upset here with Grosso. But remember, when you are champion for so long, those up-and-comers come a little more hungry than you. That's the only thing I could be worried here for Valentina. But I don't think the matchup is great for Grosso due to that wrestling advantage and grappling. So keep that in mind. Grosso has improved in that area. I just don't think it's going to be enough against Valentina. Very hard to bet against Valentina. Another fighter I'm excited about is Rakhmonov, guy. And he's getting Neal here. Neal plus 380 versus Rakhmonov minus 500. You know, this is probably going to be Rakhmonov's toughest test yet. He did fight Magny. Magny, Neal, I kind of have him at the same level. Maybe Neal just passed him now, even though Neal did lose to Magny not too long ago. I think Neal, he's found some resurgence here. Neal with a couple nice wins, right? Back-to-back wins. First over Ponzinibbio, tough guy to beat. And then Luque. He finished Luque in the 3rd round. He showed a lot in that fight. I think maybe Neal's found something here. And interesting enough, Neal called for this fight, guys. I don't know if there's something I'm not seeing. I do like Rakhmonov here. I do think Rakhmonov is going to be better grappler, better wrestler. I think he goes to that. You know, I think on the feet, I don't love Rakhmonov's volume on the feet. You look at Neal, it's over 5. Rakhmonov's low, below 3. That's concerning. So Neal's path in this fight, 380 is intriguing. He would have to keep the fight standing, and could he do it? I don't know. Right, I've seen Magny take Neal down with not too much issues. It's going to be a hard thing for me to say Neal's going to keep this fight standing. Very, very difficult to see that. So I do think Rakhmonov wins this fight. You can maybe look at a submission. You can get that at plus money, I'm pretty sure. So that probably would the way I would look if I had to bet this fight. But Neal has found something as of late. It's just against guys that strike, right? Ponzinibbio is not going to wrestle you. And Magny, not Magny. Luque is not going to wrestle you. Rachmanov is going to come in there with an MMA style fight, and he's going to try to grapple and make it ugly. He's not going to stand and bang with you. That's Neil's path. Catching Rachmanov with a big shot. I think Rachmanov's too smart. And you do see his low output is because he's very calculated and a smart fighter. So I do think Rachmanov mixes it up, gets to wrestling, and maybe finds a submission at one point. Maybe just wins a unanimous decision. I think he's just too much. I'm high on the guy, 16-0. I like Rachmanov. Again, minus 500, tough to bet. Tough to bet. And the outcome is tough to call too. I would lean that he finds a submission or maybe a ground and pound win, but I can't be super high on that. Yes, Neil has been submitted before, I think 3 times in his career. Keep that in mind. So I would have to lean the submission Rachmanov, but overall I just think he wins this fight. I am high on the guy. He is one of the bigger prospects in the UFC coming up with like a Bo Nickel, and obviously I guess Chimaev's still there. He hasn't been fighting a ton. I would put him right up there with those guys. I'm excited to see how this one goes. Gamrot, minus 220 versus Turner, plus 180, last minute change, right? I think this was supposed to be Hooker. Gamrot's coming in to save the day here. You know, Turner Hooker would have been fun, right? A lot of stand and banging. This game plan, I think Gamrot just going to wrestle. Chain wrestle. It's a 3 rounds. Is he in his best shape? Probably not, but he is always training. And I just think he has a big wrestling advantage over Turner, right? We've seen Turner get taken down in most of his other fights. We've seen Malarkey take him down. It's just a level of difference. I like what I've seen from Turner as of late, but it's against favorable matchups in my opinion. Riddell, Malarkey. It's not high-level guys, right? And if it is high-level guys, it's not guys that can't wrestle. Turner can be taken down, not high on his wrestling. Can Turner win this fight? Sure. He can catch Gamrot coming in on a takedown. Maybe he can get sneaky with submission on the ground on Gamrot, but Gamrot's hungry to get back in there after that loss to Darush. Darush, very high level. I want to see Darush get a title shot. I really like Darush. Not a flashy guy, not the guy you want holding the belt, I guess, for UFC purposes, but he's very well-rounded, Darush. I really like what I see from him. And Gamrot struggled a bit in that fight in the wrestling department. Here he's not going to. A little concerned, yes, that Gamrot's taking on short notice, but you got to think Turner's game plan's totally opposite now. When you're going to fight Dan Hooker, you know, you're fighting a stand-up war. Here, it's totally different. Gamrot chain wrestling. Turner doesn't want that fight. Sure, he can catch him. Gamrot coming in here, but I think Gamrot wins this fight 9 times out of 10, guys. It's just the wrestling's too much, and I do think Turner could get tired in the 3rd round. Keep in mind, I can't go all in on Gamrot due to the short notice. You don't know how well his shape is going to be able to come in. What if he does decide to wrestle for 3 rounds, not getting the finish, and he gets tired in the 3rd, and Turner is able to put on the striking? It's possible. It's possible. So that's why I can't go all in on Gamrot, but I will probably find a way to put him on my betting card this weekend. Fun one, right, to open up the main event? Well, as long as it lasts. Bo Nickel minus 1,600 versus Pickett plus 900. Another fight you can't bet, guys. Can't bet it at this price. Even if you find a finish, you can't bet it unless you think you can knock him out on the feet. TKO, KO. You can get that at plus 200, which is decent. Submission prop minus 155. Why bet it, right? Well, why bet that? I think if you're going to take a shot here, you take TKO, KO plus 200. Nickel's going to finish this fight. This fight is not going to go 3 rounds. And minus 1,200 tells you that. Pickett has, I think, 0 chance of winning this fight. Maybe 5% because it's a fight. At the end of the day, maybe he catches him with a knee coming in. Right? Like I mentioned that Turner could. Pickett's not going to submit on the ground. What probably happens is Nickel just gets his fight down to the ground. Pickett's takedown defense is not good. So I expect Nickel just gets a fight down to the ground and probably find a submission at the end of the day earlier in the fight, round 1 or 2. But there is a possible TKO style finish. But, you know, you get a plus 200, you look at minus 155. It's tough, obviously, to see if it's going to be TKO. I lean more to submission. And, you know, the books are telling you that too at minus 155. But, you know, I think Nickel just kind of cruises through. This is a softball for him. They're trying to build the guy up. Why not build him up on the main card and giving him a guy like Pickett who's lost 2 fights in a row? So high on Bo Nickel. Love to see how he's going to finish this fight. It's going to finish it somehow. Probably not smart to just stand and strike with Pickett. Pickett's only path is to catch Nickel on the feet. So I just expect Nickel to get this fight to the ground, probably find a submission. There is a little value on the TKO ground and pound, but it'll probably be a submission, guys. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Excited for this card, right? First card I'm really excited about. March is stacked with fights. We got the Usman fight coming up with Edwards as well. So stacked March, excited for it. And like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Hit that like button as well.